Hey, everybody, I'm Scott Wikle. You're listening to My Kind of Country on MKOC Radio. Thanks for joining us tonight on our musical journey with real country music the way it should be. Very special guest tonight on the show, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm so glad to have him on tonight. He's worked with the likes of George Jones and Johnny Paycheck. Got a fantastic real country music album called I Start All Over, and he's doing some work with Jerry Collins right now on a new song that Jerry's written, and I'm real anxious to talk to him here about his career. This is Joe Diamond. Joe, how are you tonight?
Hello there, Scott. Doing good.
Well, great, man. Good to have you on the show. Thanks for taking time. I appreciate it very much.
Well, thanks for allowing me to call, man. I enjoy talking to folks.
Well, it is my honor. Well, I'd like to get a little history of your career and give me a little bit of your background and how you got into this wonderful music of country.
Well, I've always loved singing, even when I was a kid. And I just got lucky one day. It was in a honky-tonk down in Texas. I don't know if you're familiar with Texas honky-tonks, but usually they got a bar in front and then the honky-tonk built on the back of it. Well, they had band back there in the back. Me and two or three of my buddies, we weren't in the band. We were just sitting up front, passing the guitar around, singing. We started drawing bigger crowds than the band back there in the back, so they fired the band and put us back there. That's how I got in.
I love it.
It's funny, man. But
Well,
we were just having more fun. They were taking themselves too serious.
that happens a lot, and you got to have a good time because it really shows when you're on a stage and you're having a good time, you're enjoying what you're doing and who you're working with. It carries right out into the audience, and it's
Yeah, I found that out.
yeah, absolutely, no doubt about it. So you have several albums out, and you've also worked with Johnny Paycheck too. Is that right?
Yeah, it did. That come about by accident, too. But I know Johnny is since back in '63. But us getting together was kind of an accident. But it was a great run, man. He was a great guy and great to work with.
Well, tell me the story of how you guys got together.
Oh, well, I was working a nightclub in Denver. I lived out there for 7 or 8 years. And I had a sit-down job in a club working 6 nights a week. And the boss man called me at home one day and said, "Do you know a guy named Johnny Paycheck?" I said, "Well, yeah, I do." He said, "Well, he's here in the office." I said, "What in the world's he doing?" He said, "Looking for a job." I said, "Well, hire him." He said, "Hire him to do what?" I said, "It don't matter. Just hire him, because if you don't, I guarantee you another club is going to." And so he did. And I knew Johnny played steel guitar because the first time I ever met him, he was playing steel guitar for George Jones. And so we got him a steel and amp, put him up, everything, and he got to playing steel with me there. And then one day, I don't know, he'd been there a month or two, he came to me and said, "I have a contract with CBS Records, and they want me to come to Nashville and record, a session." He said, "But I don't have the money to get there." So I bought him a plane ticket to get to Nashville, and he come down. That's when he recorded "Don't Take Her, She's All I Got."
Wow. No
Epic
kidding.
Records. And he came back to Denver, sat back down at the Steel, went playing. About a month or so later, he came to me and said, "Bubba, that record is fixing to do something." Said, "I'm going to have to chase it." Said, "You've got an awfully good band here. If you want to go with me, hire yourself a steel player and we'll go." And that's how I got in there.
No kidding. Wow.
Just pure luck.
I'll be dogged. So how long did you work with him?
A couple of years.
Wow.
And then he started changing and getting into that outlaw stuff, and I didn't care much for that lifestyle. I was still raising kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went back to Denver and still working in clubs for a while, and ended up back in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So playing down there, running around.
Well, you've got a song on your CD. It's the CD is called "I Start All Over," and you can get that, folks, at cdbaby.com. And you've got a song on there called "I Wish I Had the Job Paycheck Told Him all to Shove."
Yeah, that was a funny story. A bunch of us sitting around a campfire outside of a honky-tonk down in Rockport, Texas. It's right on the coast, just a little north of Corpus Christi, and we were doing a little constructive drinking that night, and Take This Job and Shove It had just come out, and we were talking about it, and somebody in the group, nobody remembers who, but somebody said, well, I wish I had that job Paycheck told them all to shove. And one of the guys, a good friend of mine there named Eddie Trout, he's the guy that wrote the song, he said, I'll be right back. He got up and went to his truck and sat in there and wrote it. We recorded it. We went over to Corpus Christi and recorded it, and it come out pretty good. In fact, that record label, NLT, they were going to use the tracks we cut in Corpus Christi. But I said, well, wait a minute. I said, I got a set of tracks here that we cut in Nashville. And so that's the ones we used when we put that CD out.
It's a great song. I like that one. And still talking about Johnny Paycheck, kind of a later in his career song, it really kind of became a second signature song for him was Old Violin. And you did a absolutely beautiful job on this.
Well, thank you. I love that song, and I love Johnny, still do, man. And we've run, we've crossed paths several times since we parted company, and we always got along great, and had good visits and everything. But I just recorded it because I loved Johnny so much, and I loved that song. And I was doing it on the bandstand, and people seemed to like it, so I recorded it. And by the way, that's my band playing on that cut.
Fabulous. It's a great CD, and folks, I want to urge you to go to cdbaby.com and look up Joe Diamond. I Start All Over is the name of the album. It is a stone cold country album, and you will absolutely love it, as you're going to hear in a little bit. We're going to play some of the songs for you. Walk in Peace of Heaven, you did a great job on that too. I'll tell you what, I got to tell you, Joe,
that's my band on that song too.
Man, you got some of the great musicians. You are an absolute stylist, and you are just cut from that same cloth. And you've got that George Jones sound in you, and I love that. You even got the George Jones hair going on.
George's been copying me for years.
Yeah, so the truth comes out. So you heard it first on My Kind of Country, folks.
Lord.
That's fine. Well, that in all seriousness, there was some people that kind of said that George Jones was influenced by Johnny Paycheck, and others that say it was the other way around. Because Paycheck certainly could sing a real great country song. A lot of his early stuff, long before the Outlaw stuff, was on the Little Darlin' label, and that stuff is stone cold country music.
Yeah, I think Win Stewart was ahead of both of them there on that, though. You hear a lot of Win Stewart in the early Paycheck stuff.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yep, another great artist, too.
Win's a great guy, too. I met him out in Denver.
Did you?
Yes, I met a lot of people out in Denver. We had like I said, we was playing this nightclub 6 nights a week, and they'd book people in from time to time. Now, we didn't have Win booked in. I met him in a recording session. Ralph Mooney was playing steel on the session. I was playing rhythm guitar, and Win came out to see Ralph, but I made sure I met him because I always liked his stuff, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was fabulous. He recorded a duet with Johnny Paycheck in his later years. It was The Wild Side of Life, actually, they recorded together.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I hadn't heard that.
It was on Pretty World Records, actually. Yeah.
Pretty World Records.
We'll have to play that after the interview, too. We'll put that in there. That just made me think of that song. We'll put that in there. Did you ever have a chance to work with George Jones?
One night.
One night.
Yeah, and after I left, when I was with Paycheck, toward the last there, we had the same booking agent as George and Tammy.
Mm-hmm.
And but I knew George, and George, he didn't really know me, but he recognized me when he saw me,
Yeah.
And but got to know him pretty good when I was with Paycheck, and we was on the same shows a bunch. And one night he didn't have a bass player, so I subbed. I just worked that one night. But after I left Paycheck, in Corpus Christi, the fire department would put on a show every year in December at the auditorium, raising money for, toys for kids and stuff,
Sure.
And George Jones was always the headliner. Well, one December, I went backstage to see him, because I could just get in and out of that auditorium down there with no problem. And I walked back there, and he said, I saw that he had his fiddle player was playing bass. And he said, you play bass. And I held my hand up. It was in a cast. I had just got the end of a finger broke off on an offshore oil rig.
Oh, man.
And he gave me a phone number, said, when you get out of that cast, call me. Well, I got out of the cast. I worked on my hand for 2 or 3 weeks to get it where it would work. And he'd done hired a bass player by then. And
oh, man.
he wouldn't, wouldn't quit or die or get fired or nothing. So I never did get the gig. But,
oh, man. That's the breaks, I guess, right?
Yeah. Win some, lose some.
That's right. That's right. Well, yeah.
The song says, sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug.
That's right. Amen to that. Well, you've been doing some recording and stuff, and I understand that you're recording a song that my buddy Jerry Collins just wrote here recently.
Yeah, you want to tell him the name of it? You want me to?
Oh, you tell him. We love it, man. It's great.
Well, it's my kind of song, and when I heard the title, I said, I got to have that. It's called I Drink About Her All the Time. If that ain't a country song, I don't know what is.
Amen to that. Jerry has written some great songs here recently, and he's been getting a lot of airplay with the stuff he's written. Of course, an outstanding artist in his own right and a great guy. So I'm always tickled to get his music on the air. So I'm anxious to. Have you got it recorded yet?
We got some of the tracks down, and the vocal. It's not mixed or anything, and but at the studio they have this girl singer. They're trying to get an album out on her. And so mine's on hold till they get her album finished and out. It'll be about a week or 10 days or so before they get to mine.
Okay. Now, are you doing a whole album too?
Well, he wants me to. The guy that owns the studio and owns the record label wants me to, and I'm perfectly willing to do it. And so I'm going through some of my songs and some of Jerry's and all, and we're trying to. I have a bunch of songs of my own, and some of them, they're just songs, but a couple of them pretty good. I can't think of what the title is right now, but there's a song on that album that you have that you've been playing that I wrote, and if I can think of the title of it, You'd Think I'd Learn, I believe, is the title of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wrote that one. Because I don't know anybody that hasn't done anything that they knew they shouldn't have done when they did it. And I was doing something one day, and I knew I shouldn't do this, but I did anyway, and almost broke my leg. And I thought to myself, well, you'd think I'd learn. I said, hey, that's pretty good. So I hobbled into the house and wrote it down. And it kind of came to me pretty easy once I got started. But
I love it.
I got another song. I have 3 different CDs, and this one's got a song on it. I was playing in Denver, and the bass player told me one night, he said, Joe, I've got this title I've had for 8 years, and I can't write the song. So I'm going to give you the title, and if you can write it, you can have it. And he gave me the title, and I said, well, what is it? He said, it's My Angel's Gone to Hell. And so I carried that thing about 10 years, then I finally wrote it. But it's on one of my CDs.
That sounds like a good one too. I'll have to have you send me those other CDs you've got, because I'd love to get that music on the air too.
I will. If you want to, you can do it now, or wait till we get off the air. I'll get your address and I'll fire you one off.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'll do that when we get off the air here. I'd love to hear that stuff, because, like I said, I really, really like your voice. I like the music you're doing, and it's real country music, which is what we're all about here at My Kind of Country, no doubt about it.
Well, as soon as Jerry told me the name of the show, I knew it'd be My Kind of Country.
Absolutely.
And I love the older songs. Well, people ask me about a lot of songs that are out now, and I said, well, I guess it's all right. It's doing well, and I'm happy for the guy, They said, why don't you do those? I said, well, I like a song that actually has a melody. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody by saying that, but I first place, I like to be able to understand the story. I've heard all the pickup truck songs I need, and I like a song that actually has a melody, and that way.
Well, I can pretty much guarantee you the thousands and thousands of listeners that we have on our show, they all agree with you because they're tuning in to hear real country
like
music.
Joe Diamond CDs then.
Absolutely. Well, as you progress with your new recording, too, please keep me posted. And when you get it done, I would love to have you back on the show, and we can do a feature on it and get it out there to all the listeners because I know it's going to be a good one.
Well, thank you. I'm going to stick your number in my phone when we get off there. I just got your phone number from Jerry, and so he kept telling me to call you, and after about 2 days, I said, you know what, Jerry? I said, I'm going to call him as soon as I get this phone number. He said, well, I forgot. I said, yeah, I'm going to need the number to call him.
That's great. I
Nothing
love
like having an agent with an unlisted number, you know.
That's right. Oh, man. That's funny. I like that one. I had a guy tell me one time he put out a 45, a single, and he said, yep, it was a 7-inch record with a 9-inch hole.
Yeah, I had a few of those, too, man. I had several 45s. Most of them. We were behind the club one time. We had backed the trailer up there just years ago, and told the boys, I said, y'all go ahead and load the equipment. I'm going to run into town and cash this check. They paid us by check, and that's tough out on the road when they pay you by check.
Yeah.
I went into town. Of course, now I'm from out of town and had a tough time getting the check cashed. They had to call the guy, make sure it was, legit. And they got back out to the trailer, and the boys, I had a box of 45s, and the boys, we had a shotgun, and the boys are using it for skeet parties. When I got back to them, they were just bored and looking for something to do, They're using them for 45s for skeet targets.
Nice. Man, they're what your merchandise sales, huh?
Yeah, I tell you what. Some of the boys are pretty good shots, so lost a few that day.
Oh, my gosh. Life on the road.
Oh, yeah. There's a million road stories, man. Every band has them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, Joe, it has been a pleasure talking with you, and I'm going to play some of your great music for our listeners right now, and we'll look forward to hearing more from you, and you're welcome on my show anytime. Thanks so much for taking time to be on My Kind of Country.
Well, thank you for allowing me to call in, man, and taking the time to talk with me. I appreciate it, and tell all your listeners there that I'm as close as their telephone. Anybody want to call, and especially for bookings, I think Jerry gave you something there for you, enough phone numbers and stuff.
All right, we'll get all that.
You got my phone number now because I called you. So
that's right, we got it, and I'll make sure we share that with anybody that's listening wants to get in touch, and we'll put it on our social media as well. It's Joe Diamond, and you can also go to cdbaby.com and pick up this CD that Joe has out called "I Start All Over." Great country music. And
yeah.
We're gonna play some.
I'll mail you an autograph.
All right.
Don't matter to me.
Sounds great. All right, folks, we're going to play some of these great songs for you right now, and this is Joe Diamond as we continue with My Kind of Country. Joe, thanks again.
Thank you, Scott.
I've always been a working man and barely made ends meet, but now this unemployment line is wearing out my feet. I've got bills to pay, and I've got to feed the ones I love. I wish I had the job, paycheck told them all to shove. I wish I had the job, paycheck told them all to shove. And I know I don't feel this way alone. I wish I had the job, paycheck told them all to shove. Then I'd have a paycheck of my own. This rising hype in unemployment scaring me to death. I've been chasing jobs so long till I can't catch my breath. I ain't never seen the situation quite so tough. I wish I had the job, paycheck told them all to shove. I wish I had the job, paycheck told them all to shove. And I know I don't feel this way alone. I wish I had the job, paycheck told them all to shove. Then I'd have a paycheck of my own. I wish I had the job, paycheck told them all to shove. And I know I don't feel this way alone. I wish I had the job, paycheck told them all to shove. Then I'd have a paycheck of my own. I sure need a paycheck of my own. All of yesterday. But when her life is touched with sorrow, sometimes it seems she never went away. 'Cause I'm the shoulder she cries on every time she's feeling down. I'm the one she runs to when the blues come around. She's just asking as a friend, but I start all over, getting over her again. I can't refuse to have her near me, although it opens heartache's door. But just to know that she still needs me is all my crazy heart keeps beating for. 'Cause I'm the shoulder she cries on every time she's feeling down. I'm the one she runs to when the blues come around. She's just asking as a friend, but I start all over, getting over her again. I start all over, getting over her again. What's that round your head? Is it a halo? What's that on your shoulder? Is it wings? You must be a walking piece of heaven, Or is it love that makes me see these things? Around you there's a light that just keeps glowing. When you speak, do I hear angels sing? You must be a walking piece of heaven. Or is it love that makes me see these things? When we met, I found the strength to face the world. I believe you're special. You're no ordinary girl. Am I seeing right, or am I dreaming? Did I hear the rush of angels' wings? You must be a walking piece of heaven. Or is it love that makes me see these things? When we met, I found the strength to face the world. I believe you're special. You're no ordinary girl. Am I seeing right, or am I dreaming? Did I hear the rush of angels' wings? You must be a walking piece of heaven. Or is it love that makes me see these things? You must be a walking piece of heaven. Or is it love that makes me see these things? When I first met her, she was such an angel, a simple country girl who'd never been around. So I took her for my wife and introduced her to the nightlife and the parties and the barrooms way downtown. And now almost every evening she's the center of attention and the topic of the stories that they tell about a girl who lives in barrooms and winds up in cheap hotel rooms. Yes, they tell me that my angel's gone to hell. Too many bright lights and Lord, just too much nightlife caused her downfall, and it's just too sad but I'm the one who taught her. So it's my fault that I've lost her. Yes, it's my fault that my angel's gone to hell. So it's my fault that I've lost her. Yes, it's my fault that my angel's gone to hell. Lord, it hurts to know my angel's gone to hell. I can't recall one time in my life when I felt as lonely as I feel tonight. Feel like I could just lay down and get up no more. It's the strangest feeling, I never felt it before. Tonight I feel like an old violin, soon to be put away and never played again. Don't ask me why I feel like this, Lord, I just can't say. I only wish this feeling would just go away. 'Cause I guess the truth is the hardest thing I've ever had to face. 'Cause you can't change the truth in the slightest way. And believe me, I've tried. So I asked myself, boy, where do you go from here? And then like a fool, I turned around and I looked into the mirror. And there I was seeing an old violin, soon to be put away and never played again. So one more time, I asked myself, boy, just where in the world do you go from here? And then like a fool, I turned around and I looked back in that old mirror. And then just like that, it hit me. You know, me and that old violin, we're a whole lot alike. While we've given our all to country music, and soon we'll give our lives